Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a dog owner, you already know the drill. The clippers come out, your dog instantly vanishes under the sofa, and your own heart rate starts spiking. It's kind of funny, but it's also one of the most universally dreaded parts of dog grooming. Well, today, we're going to change that. We're going to transform that dreaded dog nail trim into an empowering, completely stress-free bonding experience. We're diving straight into Paws and Polish, the essential canine nail care guide, and we'll break down the exact steps to give your dog the healthy, pain-free paws they deserve.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with why nail trims actually matter. Then we'll look at the anatomy and essential tools. After that, we'll cover building trust and technique, followed by handling accidents safely. And finally, we'll wrap up with maintenance and knowing when to call in professional help. All right, Section 1, Why Nail Trims Matter, Understanding the Sticks.
So, why do we absolutely dread the clippers? It's a totally universal feeling, right? We're just terrified of hurting our best friends. And you know what? They pick up on our anxiety right away. But honestly, understanding the actual health risks of avoiding this chore, that's what's going to motivate us to push through the fear. Because it's really not just about aesthetics, and it's definitely not just about stopping that annoying clicking sound on your hardwood floors.
Here's the thing. When a dog's nails get too long, it fundamentally changes how they interact with the ground. Imagine trying to walk around all day in shoes that are way, way too tight. Your dog is essentially doing the exact same thing, and that leads to severe joint strain over time. Neglected nails can literally alter your dog's entire posture and gait. Plus, overgrown nails easily catch on carpets or rough outdoor surfaces, which can cause them to split or crack, and that is super painful. In the worst-case scenarios, those nails can actually curl completely around and grow directly right into the paw pads, causing major pain and serious infections.
Let's move on to Section 2, Anatomy and Essential Tools, because knowledge really is power here.
Okay, so the biggest source of our anxiety usually centers around this one specific thing, the quick. What is it? The quick is simply a bundle of blood vessels and nerves sitting right inside each of your dog's nails. Cutting into this is what causes that sudden pain and the bleeding we're all trying to avoid. But just understanding that the quick is a living, feeling part of the nail is your very first step in safely avoiding it. Now, having the right gear is an absolute game changer, and we can easily match the perfect tool to your dog's specific needs. If you've got a larger dog with thick nails, scissor-style clippers are going to be your best bet for a nice, clean cut. Got a smaller dog? Guillotine-style clippers work wonderfully for them. Now, if you want to avoid cutting altogether, which totally makes sense, nail grinders let you gradually file the nails down, giving you a whole lot more control. And finally, check out that last item on the list, styptic powder. It's a pet-safe blood clotting product, and it's an absolute must-have safety net for your toolkit. Do not skip it.
Section 3, Building Trust and Technique, the Approach. Look, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to do a full-blown pedicure on day one. Don't do it. Instead, use these ultra-manageable steps to slowly build trust. Start by just casually touching their paws while you're hanging out on the couch. Next, just let them see the clippers sitting on the floor. If you're going with a grinder, maybe turn it on across the room just so they get used to the sound. Gradually work your way up to holding each paw for just a few seconds. You're basically proving to them that having their paws handled doesn't automatically equal pain. And to make this a truly positive experience, you've got to pair those baby steps with some seriously high-value rewards. Nail trims should feel like a jackpot, not a punishment. Toss them small training treats, give them heavy praise, or bring out their absolute favorite toy. Here's a fantastic pro tip. Smear some peanut butter, make absolutely sure it's xylitol-free, that's crucial, on a lick mat. Licking is naturally soothing for dogs, and it perfectly distracts them while you handle their paws. Honestly, some owners find massive success just trimming one single nail a day while their dog goes to town on that peanut butter. When you're finally ready to make a cut, remember this golden rule from our source material. Trim tiny amounts from the tip of the nail and check your progress frequently. Taking off just tiny little slivers is hands down the safest way to avoid the quick, and it builds up your own confidence too. If you're ever unsure, remember, it's always better to trim less than to trim too much. As you're trimming those tiny slivers, you need to know exactly what you're looking for. This is your visual cheat sheet. On light-colored nails, you'll usually see a chalky white outer nail. And as you get closer, a pink center starts showing up. That pink is your warning. That's exactly where the quick begins. Dark nails, though, they require extra caution because you obviously can't see the pink from the outside. Instead, you need to look at the cut surface head-on after every single tiny snip. Stop trimming immediately when the center of that cut surface starts showing a darker, moist-looking circle. It kind of looks like a little bullseye. Once you see that, you're right at the quick. Stop right there. All right, section 4. Handling accidents safely, troubleshooting. Listen, if you accidentally nick the quick, and trust me, it happens to literally almost every single dog owner at some point, just take a breath. Stay calm. It can look incredibly dramatic because, honestly, nails bleed quite a bit, but most minor quick cuts are simply not medical emergencies. Remember, your dog is reading your energy. Your anxiety will only fuel their anxiety, so keeping your cool is absolutely paramount.
Just follow this quick, basic first aid protocol. First, like we just said, stay calm. Second, grab that styptic powder or pet-safe clotting powder from your kit and apply it directly onto the bleeding nail. Third, just hold some gentle pressure there to help the powder do its job. And fourth, offer a ton of reassurance and extra treats to your furry friend. You really want to shower them with rewards right here, so a momentary little pinch doesn't completely ruin all that amazing trust you've built up. And that brings us to section 5, maintenance and professional help, setting boundaries. 3 to 6 weeks. That right there is your baseline. Every dog is a little different, of course, but generally 3 to 6 weeks is the ideal maintenance window for regular trimming. Now, if you have a highly active dog that's always running or walking on pavement, they might naturally wear their nails down a bit faster. On the flip side, senior dogs or pups that spend most of their time lounging indoors on plush carpets are definitely going to need trims more frequently. But hey, if you lose track of the calendar, just use your ears. It's a wonderfully simple rule of thumb. Loud clicking on your hard floors is basically your dog's built-in alarm system. If they sound like they're tap dancing their way through the kitchen, it's time for a pedicure.
And finally, let's be real, there is absolutely zero shame in realizing a situation is just beyond your current skill level. If your dog is showing extreme fearfulness, aggressive behavior, or is just way too difficult to handle safely, step back. You can always seek help from professional groomers, veterinary staff, or certified dog trainers. So many dogs profoundly benefit from gradual desensitization training with a certified pro. It's all about making this necessary care safe and low stress for everybody involved.
So, you've got the tools, you know the visual cues, and you've got a solid, structured approach to finally take back control of grooming day. But it really begs a bigger question. If we can help desensitize our dogs to their absolute biggest fear using nothing but patience and a little peanut butter, what other behavioral hurdles could you and your dog conquer together next? Grab those treats, take that first tiny step today, and hey, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.